Every one of us has a story, memories that relate to Nick. We have 4 men that are coming right now to share a tribute to Nick. Jay Zammit, Mark Carter, Chris Farr, and Josh Deane. If you 4 would come, and in that order, share with us, please.
Both yesterday and today, I have been so moved by the outpouring of many of you, from the very, very young to the old. And as we talked, you shared with me wonderful stories about Nick's life and how he profoundly and deeply impacted yours. There's a verse in Matthew that says, "By their fruits you will recognize them." By their fruits. Their fruits. And as I thought about that, another verse came to my mind that many of us have heard on a number of occasions. And it begins with, "But the fruit of the Spirit." Now, I want you to allow me a little liberty to make a slight change. Because as I do that, and when you're listening, I think that you'll clearly see, as I did, that this small change summarizes the stories that I heard yesterday. It was the fruit of Nick's life was love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and faithfulness. You told me of a man who deeply loved his God and his family. My precious sister, his wife, Timmery, his eldest son, Josh, Jared, his sidekick on the football field, Jordan, a beautiful little girl, Mariah, a wonderful daughter-in-law, Kelly, and that twinkle in his eye that you mentioned, his little grandson, Joshua. You told me of a man whose love and faithfulness to this church was extraordinary, and how he pointed folks to Christ, not only through his words, but by his deeds. He would walk shoulder to shoulder with many of you through the good times and the bad times. You told me of a man on a day-to-day basis who showed a patience, a kindness, a goodness to his players. There was a mom, a beautiful mother yesterday, that expressed to me her sadness on how her son will not have the opportunity this year to play for Nick, and it was to be his freshman year, his first year playing on the team. And as we talked, it was clear that she was not saddened by the fact that her son would not be learning the game of football from Nick, although he certainly would have. Nick was an outstanding coach. But she was sad, and her focus was on the man. And she looked forward to how Nick would teach her son and the others on the team, the other young men on the team, how to be extraordinary men of character. I met one of Nick's colleagues at Ford Motor Company, and he told me that Nick was his mentor in the trades. Nick was a millwright. And I said to him, "Nick was a great millwright, wasn't he?" And this man, his friend, with a gentleness, looked at me and he said, "Yes, but more importantly, he was a great man. And I thought to myself, wow, this man, his friend, would not allow Nick to be defined by something as small as a job classification or a title. I loved that. Let me end with this. There's a verse in Corinthians that said, "But whomever loves God is known by God." Nick loved God. That man that you know, that I know, was also known by God. And on the evening, Memorial Day, Nick stood face to face with that God and saw him. I said, "Nick, the 38 years that I had with you was too short." And I'm asking him to find that Little League baseball bench so that someday I can sit on it again with him for old time's sake and talk.